Welcome to Conversations with Kate, the podcast where we delve into the stories, ideas and insights that shape our lives. Join me as we engage in thoughtful discussions with fascinating guests from all walks of life. Get ready to listen, learn and connect. All right, welcome back to Conversations with Kate. I'm Kate Bennett, CEO of Disruptive Live, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Andrew McLean. Today, we're diving into the big one, AI ethics and society. Andrew, are you ready for this?
I mean, as ready as I'll ever be, Kate. This is the sort of topic that gets everyone a bit twitchy, isn't it? Ethics, morality and machines. Sounds like the start of a bad joke, but it's actually deadly serious.
Exactly. And I've been reading this book, As If Human, by Nigel Shadbolt and Roger Hampson. They talk about this idea of machine morality, basically how we project our own moral standards onto AI, even though, let's be honest, these systems are just code and silicon. They're not sentient, but we treat them as if they are.
Yeah, that as if metaphor is fascinating. We act as if these machines have agency, but really it's all us behind the curtain. It's a bit like the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? Pull back the curtain and it's just a bunch of humans making decisions, setting the rules, and sometimes making a right mess of it.
Totally. I had this chat with a tech leader recently, won't name names, but you'd know them, who was adamant that their AI chatbot was learning empathy. And I just had to laugh. I mean, it's mimicking empathy, sure, but it doesn't feel anything. It's like a parrot repeating what it's heard. We want to believe these systems are more than they are, but at the end of the day, they're just reflecting back what we put in.
That's the thing, isn't it? We're so quick to anthropomorphize. We give our Alexas and Siri's names, we say please and thank you. Well, some of us do. But as Shadbolt and Hampson point out, it's all a bit of a conjuring trick. The morality is ours, not the machines.
And yet, we have to judge these systems as if they were moral agents, because their actions, well, the actions we program, can have real consequences. It's a weird balancing act. We know they're not human, but we still have to hold them to human standards, especially as they get more embedded in our lives.
Speaking of consequences, let's talk about some of the real-world messes AI's already gotten us into. Remember Ida, the robot artist who got mistaken for a spy in Egypt? She was just trying to get to her art show at the pyramids, and the authorities thought she was up to no good because, well, she had cameras for eyes. You can't make this stuff up.
I know. And then there's the chess robot in Moscow that broke a child's finger. The poor kid moved too quickly for the robot's programming, and the machine just clamped down. It's almost comical, but also a bit terrifying. Who's responsible when things go wrong? The organisers? The robot's creators? The robot itself? It's a legal and ethical minefield.
And it's not just these headline-grabbing stories. AI is changing the world of work too. I've seen it firsthand in recruitment. Suddenly you've got algorithms sifting through CVs, making decisions about who gets an interview. On the surface, it's efficient, but if the data's biased, the outcomes are biased. There was that infamous case with Amazon's recruitment tool that started favouring male candidates because it was trained on historical data. It's a classic case of garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. And then there's privacy. AI systems are hoovering up personal data left, right and centre. Surveillance is everywhere. Street cameras, apps, even your fridge is probably spying on you. It's not just about convenience anymore. It's about who controls the data and how it's used. The risks are real, and the safeguards often lag behind the tech.
And let's not forget the impact on jobs. The IMF's even warned that AI could widen inequality, putting people out of work across all skill levels. It's not just factory jobs. White-collar roles are at risk too. We need to think about retraining, education, and honestly, how we value work in a world where machines can do so much.
It's a lot to take in. And as we discussed in our episode on LLM vulnerabilities, the more we automate, the more we open ourselves up to new kinds of risks, security, bias, even just plain old mistakes. The stakes are only getting higher. So, what do we do about it? That's where ethical frameworks come in. There's virtue ethics, think Aristotle, all about character and virtues like fairness and prudence. Then there's consequentialism, which is basically do the most good for the most people. And deontology, which is about following rules and duties. All of these have something to say about how we should build and use AI.
Yeah, but applying them to machines is tricky. Machines can follow rules, sure, but they don't have a sense of duty or compassion. They can be programmed for fairness, but they don't feel it. That's why governance is so important. The Alan Turing Institute's guidance is a good example. They stress responsible design, transparency, and accountability. It's about putting processes in place so we can anticipate and prevent harm, not just react to it after the fact.
Absolutely. In my own experience leading tech teams, I've seen how easy it is to get caught up in the excitement of what's possible and forget about what's responsible. Transparency is key. People need to know how decisions are being made, especially when it affects their lives. And accountability. Someone has to be on the hook if things go wrong. You can't just blame the algorithm and walk away.
And it's not just about ticking boxes. It's about building a culture where ethical questions are part of every conversation, not just an afterthought. We need to keep asking who benefits, who's at risk. Are we reinforcing old biases or challenging them? It's messy, but it's necessary.
And as we saw with the digital influence dilemma in our last episode, the lack of transparency and accountability can have massive consequences. Misinformation, manipulation, even threats to democracy. We can't afford to get this wrong.
So, where's all this heading? Are we on the road to sentient machines, or is that just science fiction? I mean, every year someone claims their chatbot is alive, but as we've said, there's no real consciousness there. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for sentient AI. The experts are pretty clear. Machines can imitate, but they don't understand, they don't feel, and they definitely don't have moral agency. But that doesn't mean we can relax. The tech is moving fast, and the ethical questions are only going to get more complicated.
And next time we're actually going to dig into AI threats, everything from hacking to adversarial attacks. If you thought today was a bit heavy, just wait for that one.
Can't wait. But for now, I think we've covered a lot of ground. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Andrew, always a pleasure.
Likewise, Kate. And thanks to all our listeners. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time for more conversations with Kate. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. That wraps up another insightful conversation with Kate. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you've enjoyed our discussion. Until next time. That wraps up another insightful conversation with Kate. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you've enjoyed our discussion. Until next time.